Denver will hit the 10,000 migrant mark this week. 10,000 migrants since the city started counting in December. Most, by the city's count, just passing through. Another 145 came today. The mayor says he is cautiously optimistic after a decrease in traffic at the southern border over the weekend. But he still wants to tell President Biden face to face that immigration is a crisis here, too. Today, Mayor Michael Hancock joined mayors from New York City, Los Angeles, and Houston in requesting a meeting with Biden. The mayors say they're running out of funding and running out of shelter space. They want a federal plan to head off future arrivals in their cities. This is Hancock's second request for help in recent days. Last Monday, the city and state said that they'd only gotten federal reimbursement for about 5% of what they've spent on the migrant sheltering effort. It does not appear that Denver is getting any help from Colorado's other cities. Denver's Office of Emergency Management told us today they are not currently working with any other municipality in the state to find additional shelter or resources. Denver said that they've asked for that help in the past, didn't get it. Ballots for the city's runoff elections hit the mail today. Voters have till June 6th to pick a mayor and decide some city council races. The headliner is that mayoral runoff between Mike Johnston and Kelly Brough. First open mayoral race in 12 years. There are also city council races in districts 8, 9, and 10. If you're in Council District 7, you're going to see your race on the ballot, but it's already decided. Flora Alvidrez is going to take that seat since her runoff opponent, Nick Campion, dropped out last month. June 6th, again, is the last day to drop a ballot. If you're going to mail it, you got to do it by the end of May. You can hear Mike Johnston and Kelly Brough directly contrast their plans for the city in our final mayoral debate tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I will moderate along with Marshall Zellinger and Anusha Roy. It will air live on Channel 20. It will stream live on 9news.com and on 9 News Plus. Robin Nicetta, the former social worker charged with falsely accusing Aurora City Councilwoman of child abuse, came to court today and is going to head to trial in August. She'll have to do that with a new legal team. Her lawyers quit after allegations came out that Nicetta's been faking a brain tumor. She's accused of calling a child abuse hotline and making false claims against Aurora City Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky, because Jurinsky was critical of Nicetta's ex-partner, former Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson. That trial was set to start this month. Defense attorneys asked for a delay. They argued that the brain tumor might make Nicetta ineligible to stand trial. Well, then there's the suggestion that she's faking it. The attorneys have quit. Prosecutors say that Nicetta submitted fake medical records, including fake MRIs and contact details for a clinic out of state that could not be found. Nicetta's new attorney doesn't seem to be taking any chances. He's dropped the motion to have her medically evaluated before trial. Nicetta didn't say anything about this today. She's already lost a civil defamation suit related to the case earlier this year. Judge in that case ordered Nicetta to pay $3 million in damages. So here we are in that typical Colorado spring weather pattern where you're tempted to turn on the heat at home one day, then turn on the air conditioning the next. Either would become more expensive for Xcel customers starting in September if the company's approved for a $312 million rate increase. That's $312 million too much, according to the group that looks out for you, the ratepayer. Here's Marshall Zellinger.
No to this rate increase. Stop raising the rates. Absolutely not. Hard no. No more increases. You are making record profits. These are just some of the emails from Xcel customers in Thornton, Superior, Aurora, and Arvada. Emails sent to the Public Utilities Commission right after our story in March, explaining Xcel's request for a $312 million electric rate increase for September.
Well, we've proposed a reduction of approximately $27 million.
Joe Pereira is the Deputy Director of the Office of Utility Consumer Advocate, the group that acts as the ratepayer's public defender. The UCA wants the PUC to reduce Xcel's rate in September, not increase it, saying that Xcel has gone over budget on projects and that the customer should not have to pay for going over budget.
We've proposed that the company are disallowed some of these costs to bring some cost discipline and to bring some motivation to the company to do better in the future.
As we explained in March, a rate case is like a game of leapfrog, with Xcel seeking reimbursement for past expenses, investments, and predicting the cost of future expenses. Xcel makes money on infrastructure. If it builds something, it can earn interest on that investment. And when you take into account the interest and the expenses they're seeking payment for from ratepayers, they want rates to go up about $312 million total. The staff that makes recommendations to the PUC suggests just $21 million, in part because Xcel raised electric rates 17 months ago. The UCA, our public defenders, actually think the rates should go down from where they are today, down $27 million. The three PUC commissioners will ultimately decide, just like last month. Atmos Energy requested a gas rate increase for the communities shaded in yellow. The PUC decided against the rate increase and actually voted in favor of lowering the rates in that case.
Xcel emailed me a statement saying that the rate case aims to align customer bills with the cost of service, and they believe that the rate case accurately reflects that. Couldn't comment specifically about what the UCA said about the minus $27 million prior to filing their own rebuttal by the end of the month. But it's safe to say, when you have discrepancies like that, the PUC is really going to have, now with the attention to the PUC, they're going to have to really closely look and not just necessarily agree with everything that the utility always hopes for.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, do they almost kind of get rewarded in a way when costs go out of hand?
I was talking to the UCA representative about this, like the DIA example. When you go over budget, you could fire the company doing the work and hire someone that's going to stay within budget. And he was saying that in this case, if they can prove Xcel's going over budget constantly, they shouldn't be rewarded with getting reimbursed by the ratepayer. They should be told by the PUC, you got to budget better and you're going to eat some of that cost.
All right, thank you. Stay on it. Centura Health is buying the naming rights to the Broncos facility at Dove Valley, which is kind of weird because the Centura Health that we know is dissolving right now. So that company had Catholic-run hospitals and it had hospitals run by the Seventh-day Adventist, and they basically had the Centura brand over both of them. So they're now going to go their separate ways, and they aren't telling us which group keeps the Centura name and now the naming rights. Somebody's obviously keeping it because look at the shiny new sign at Dove Valley, the place that Broncos will now try to get reporters to call the Centura Health Training Center. It's a 10-year naming rights deal. We reached out to Centura today, which is a bit like texting a friend who's going through a divorce. Like, you know they've got bigger problems than your questions. We asked which half of Centura is keeping the name and shelling out for Broncos naming rights. We also asked them about recent layoffs. The statement sent to us by Centura several minutes ago was such incomprehensible corporate gibberish that I have no idea which side of Centura is keeping the name and paying for the naming rights. Breaking up is hard to do. I will never ever doubt the love and the care of the people who watch this show for animals in Colorado. So last week we were talking about how my family finally adopted another shelter dog. 3 years since our dog died. And then I asked if you would join me in supporting Colorado Pet Pantry for our latest Word of Thanks micro-giving project. And that's how you raise $68,000 to provide free pet food to families in every corner of Colorado with the hope that they won't have to surrender their pets that they love for purely economic reasons. $10 million and counting. Your small donations have added up to make a huge impact for nonprofits across Colorado. I'm always looking for other nonprofits that could use a boost. People who are doing great work know how to put dollars to use wisely. Email any ideas you have to next@9news.com. Buckle up, Buttercup. CDOT says potholes are opening faster than they can fill them. And welcome back to the much-hated and misunderstood little moths as they fly into our homes and faces once again.
They are pollinators, which is always this very important work.
Very important work, which is why they need to do it outside our homes. Fat chance of that. Next. Rain is gone, and it left behind a state full of potholes, just waiting to realign your tires or your dental work. It turns out this year is especially bad. Our Mark Salinger caught up with the people whose job it is to find them and fill them.
The bumps come fast.
They're never ending. It seems like every time you turn a corner around here, there's a new one that's popped up.
1, 2, 3 right here on Colfax. Add them up, and the potholes become problems.
It feels like, like playing Mario Brothers or something. You're always trying to hop over another hole.
Nearly 500 have been reported in Denver since the last week of April. The city has filled 3,537 potholes so far this year. That's 430 more than in the same time last year. Drivers like Chichi Andasola feel it.
They're huge. I mean, literally, you could stuff a watermelon inside some of these potholes.
The rain caused potholes to expand, and the crews that fix them
pothole season is kicked in gear right now.
know there will always be more.
If there's still moisture in this pothole that's being repaired, it's not going to necessarily be a permanent fix.
Presley Fowler with CDOT says they're out every day that it's dry trying to fix them. But the list keeps growing faster than they can dump asphalt into the bumps.
There's so many that it's a point where we have to prioritize, what can we do right now? What is an immediate needs to be fixed?
The rain and snow have taken a toll on the cars and the roads. CDOT got an additional $25 million this year to help fund permanent repairs for things like potholes. That's in addition to the millions they already spend on emergency repairs, like after this week's storm.
They're really bad. They're really bad.
The rain makes it all worse.
It's tiresome. Really, it's tiresome.
Adding to the problems, one pothole at a time. So there was 1 year back in 2018 where Denver used money from pot to fix potholes. So many people smoked weed, the city had an extra $1.2 million in marijuana taxes they allocated to permanent repairs and repaving streets. Denver hasn't done that again, instead using the money for things like homelessness and affordable housing.
Yeah, people are also they're smoking less cannabis too. I mean, those sales have gone way down.
Tax dollars as
yeah,
well.
now you got to fill the potholes with something else. So I mean, when somebody hits something, because people hit a pothole, they get mad, they want to tell somebody, but you got to tell the right person.
Exactly. CDOT has a whole desk of people that is just going through all the complaints saying, okay, let's create the list of what's most important to get to first and after that. But a lot of the time, CDOT has to redirect that to cities like Denver or, wherever it is that each municipality starts filling their own potholes themselves. CDOT only takes care of the main roads and a lot of the interstates and things like that.
But say something. If you see a big one, say something. Don't be the reason.
Potholes.
That somebody else loses a crown or a tire. That's all. All right, Mark Salinger, thank you. Colorado's first attempt to fight a wildfire from a plane at night ended with a deadly crash. Federal investigators are now saying it was bad turbulence that made the pilot lose control. Happened back in November 2021 as the Kruger rock fire was threatening homes outside Estes Park. Pilot Mark Olson Thor made a water drop on the fire during the day. This company was rolling out a new night vision system to allow planes to make drops at night. So he took off after sunset, heading to make Colorado's first night drop by an airplane. He crashed near Highway 36. The NTSB just shared its final report on the crash. Investigators say Olson hit extreme turbulence at low altitude, lost control, and crashed nose down into the mountains. Colorado has not tried nighttime firefighting with a fixed-wing plane since that crash. The state does have 2 helicopters capable of fighting fires at night. The state is adding a third, a Firehawk, and the state just approved funding to go and get a 4th, another Firehawk.
All right, are you sick of the clouds? Ready for some sunshine? It's coming, I promise, but it has been a while, 141 hours that we pretty much had constant cloud cover across the Denver metro area. That's from 9 o'clock on Tuesday evening all the way until 6 o'clock tonight. Again, sunshine, it's going to be making a comeback, folks, this time tomorrow. As we look outside, maybe a little bit of blue out there. We'll take what we can get, right? Scattered showers, thunderstorms still pushing up across the high country areas. Haven't seen much around the urban corridor, but wouldn't be surprised if a few of those make their way here across the urban corridor and then fly off to the eastern plains tonight. They'll be few and far between, not everyone getting in on the action, and by about 11 o'clock, everything shuts down. And tomorrow morning, there we go. Finally, clear skies statewide and plenty of sunshine for you. All right, here comes the clouds and a few more thunderstorms in the afternoon. They'll be few and far between, tracking from the northwest, zipping off to the southeast throughout the afternoon and through the evening hours around dinner time. Still might hear a rumble of thunder, see a little bit of lightning. Forecast for tomorrow, back to the mid-70s we go. Not only do we get the sunshine, but also some heat around here. It's been quite cool. 50s and 60s up in the mountains. We will hold steady in the 70s Wednesday and then bring back a better chance of storms, some soggier skies Thursday and into Friday. But so far, a drier and warmer weekend to come.
Miller moth season is upon us, and scientists have one request.
Don't kill them. They're just here for a while.
They even do some good while they're passing through. That's next. I'm not anti-Miller moth. I know the pesky things, they're a useful part of the ecosystem, but I swear, the first time you're in bed at night and one of them just like flutters over your face and you like feel the wings, no, swat them all dead. But first pause and think about what entomologist told our Byron Reed about the misunderstood, highly helpful Miller moth.
They belong to a group that is shared with the butterflies, which is called Lepidoptera. And they're insects, and they are now around Colorado. Hello, my name is Francisco Garcia Bullebueno, and I am the entomologist here at the Butterfly Pavilion. It's a very important species that it's migrating from the eastern states all the way to the Rocky Mountains, and they are pollinators. So that basically means that they help or assist the plants to reproduce and have new plants in the years to come. We associate butterflies as pollinators, but moths are as equally as important, and a lot of moths are also pollinators. And butterflies, because they are very colorful and they're active during the day, they seem to be very charismatic, and moths are not as charismatic, but they are doing the same very important jobs that butterflies are doing. So here we have like a butterfly house with a lot of different butterfly types and moths, which is great, and that actually helps people understand more about their role that they're playing in nature and how important they are as invertebrates. And what's cool about moths is that most of them are pollinating during the night. So a lot of plants that are flowering during the night are assisted by moths. If you're bothered by them, we recommend just turning off the lights in the night, especially the ones that are like pointing outside. If you turn them off like early during the night, then you're not gonna attract them as much into your house. What we recommend people is don't kill them. They're just here for a while. They're gonna be passing by. They just need like a little hotel to spend the day. They will not bother anyone. They're harmless, they don't have a sting, they're totally chill.
I don't know. I'd give them the garage. They could have the garage. It's my home that I have an issue with. According to the experts at Colorado State, those moth numbers will peak sometime in mid to late June. They say that all the rain we just got is going to help a lot more flowers bloom, which should spread the moths out to a wider area. Tonight's next question comes from a viewer named John. He just got a mail notice from the city of Denver telling him he is required to have a pet license. Before John mailed off a check, he wanted us to tell him if it's legit. It is legit, John. So Denver has an ordinance that requires dogs and cats older than 6 months to get licensed through this company they've chosen called Pet Data. The Denver Animal Shelter says the licensing process is supposed to help them track the pet population and pay for the work of reuniting lost pets with their owners. The license, you could pay yearly, couple years, up to $150 for a lifetime license, life of the pet. They have exemptions for pet owners over the age of 65. You don't have to mail off the check if you don't want. You can buy a license online, or you can do it in person at the Denver Animal Shelter. Your feedback on a sanctuary city and Marshall's sweater of all things. Next. It's a sign that seems to suggest a local liquor store might be selling something else on the side. Sarah Schroeder snapped this photo at Ace Liquor in Golden. I love this. Free dime bag with every purchase. Before you get too excited, one-stop shopping, right? Sarah says she asked the owners about it. It turns out the store is covering the cost of the state's new 10-cent bag fee. Those are the dime bags that people are getting for free at Ace Liquor. Feedback all over the board tonight. We had Ann say, why wouldn't voters get to decide whether or not to make Denver a sanctuary city? I don't understand why this important decision is left to a mayor. It was actually city council that made the decision to stop cooperation with immigration agents a couple years back. Mayor Hancock totally supported it, but that was a city council decision. And then on a totally different note, Steve writes in, hey, I need to know where Marshall got the sweater. He says it was the Expressmen outlet down in Castle Rock. You're welcome. See you next time.